You go online, you'll have so many people that'll tell you, copy the link to another browser. Okay, good call. Thanks, Katrina. Try copying the link to another browser. Thank you very much. All right, that's all I can do for you. You will hear a lot of talk in the marketplace, get an investment property, house hack, live in one unit, rent out the other unit, blah, 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 blah. And all of these things are very much true, right? These are things that you can very much accomplish. But what does that look like, right? That's the how to, that's the what to do. What to do? Invest in real estate, buy an investment property. Okay, but how does that look, right? What does that really look like? How does that really go? So that's what we're hoping to accomplish on tonight's Ape Talk call. Just give everybody more of a visual, more of a concise perspective and understanding of what it looks like to purchase your first investment property. But like I do every week, got my housekeeping and my announcements. I encourage everybody to connect with us on all social media handles, right? On the YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, it is Silverback University, SBU. Take 2 seconds. Go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, Silverback University, SBU, no spaces. Sound it out. It's spelled exactly how it sounds, Silverback University, SBU. Engage with, the content, the things that we post. You can also look us up on Twitter. There's still a lot of people that are active on Twitter, Silverback UNIV. And then a direct number to text, not only SBU. What's up, Mark? To text not only SBU, but any questions. Let me tell you something, man. Any questions that you guys may have as it pertains to credit that we can answer in a text message is no problem, right? Don't be afraid to reach out. Hey, if I apply for if I go to get a new car, is it gonna affect my credit? Right? And that's something in the text we can say, well, go to the bank that you bank with and see if they'll finance the car for you, because that's one inquiry. If you go to the dealership, anybody that's ever been to a dealership and wanted to and allowed the dealership to find financing for them, that the dealership takes one application and they send it out to 100 banks, and every time they send it to a bank, that bank pulls your credit. So people with not so good credit, oftentimes go that route, but then they get 1 million inquiries on each credit bureau, right? So if you text 754-225-6364, anything pertaining to credit, anything pertaining to real estate, anything pertaining to even, what we do as a community, we'll definitely answer you. We'll definitely get back to you, because the idea is for us to add value. That's the bottom line. You can't be in the services industry genuinely if your intent and goal is not to add value to other people. And oftentimes it doesn't come attached with a price tag, right? So you can text SBU to 754-225-6364. But I do encourage everybody who may have a question or something that may concern them or they don't really fully understand or fully know, go ahead and drop that question at that number right there. If we can't answer in a text, we could possibly send you a YouTube link. A lot of the things that you guys asked, at some point I've already discussed on one of these calls or some of my previous teachings. We probably just get you a link sent over, for absolutely nothing, right? So it doesn't help, we don't want to create this space where everything, it's this unconscious feeling that, well, I have to have some money, right? No, you just have to have some know-how and the proper information, right? And you just have to have the want to know, right? I got a little sidetracked. Wanted to make sure we understand that. All right. Rep the team, tag the team on your socials. Anything we post, man, don't hesitate to share, like, comment, subscribe. Don't hesitate to engage. You understand? I know y'all be watching, because when I see y'all tell me y'all watching. But I can't front. In the back of my mind, I'm always like, well, dang. If you saw all this, I have yet to see you engage with anything. Because we be watching too. We want to see if what we're posting is actually appealing to people or adding value to people or engaging people. All right. So don't be afraid, to engage with things that we may post. Helps us out a lot, goes a great way. So let's get straight into it, right? When we're talking about how to buy your first investment property, the first thing that we want to do is we want to find a deal, right? We want to find a deal. So what does finding a deal look like? Well, it looks like connecting with people that can either find the deals for you or you can find the deals yourself. So one of the very first connections I remember making, and when I started to invest in real estate, was I had a lot of relationships with what we call wholesalers, right? Wholesalers. A lot of people get into real estate and they're attracted to wholesaling because you don't have to have a license to wholesale. You don't technically have to have any money to a certain extent to wholesale. You just have to know how to find a deal. So let's explain wholesaling from this in the standpoint of real estate. So a wholesaler is a person, let's say I know someone, they have a house and they inherited a house. And this person, I live here in Miami, Florida, and there's a house next door to me that someone else from out of town just inherited, right? Death in the family, however they went about it. But I know that the person that inherited, they don't really want it. They just want to sell it. They want to sell it quick. They don't really care about the house or anything like that. They already have their life established wherever they are, don't really want to worry about it. I'm just painting a scenario, right? I can go to that person and I can say, hey man, I can give you $100,000 for that house, right? I can give you $100,000 for that house. And that person may say, okay, great. Show me the money, right? Now, once I get that house under a contract for 100,000, I know that that house is worth, let's just say 300,000, right? Okay, I can go and then assign my contract to someone else, but I make money because I put a little something on top of it. So what that looks like is I have a contract over here for 100,000 with the seller of the house. And then I have a contract with a buyer of the house for, let's say, 25,000. I'm okay with making 25 grand, no problem. So I have this contract for 100,000 here. I have a contract for 125,000 here, right? That spread in the middle, that 25,000 in the middle, that's the wholesale. That's the fee that I will get for connecting a seller with a buyer, right? I take those two contracts. I also have a contract, just assigning myself, not assigning myself, but sometimes you have to show the title company who this person is, but more importantly, who you are to make sure you get your money. You take these 3 documents, hand it over to the title company. You tell Mr. Seller, hey, it's going to close on this day. Tell Mr. Buyer, hey, it's going to close on this day. And then you sit back and you collect your money, right? It's a couple different little details in between, but for the most part, that's how that happens, right? So when I first started to invest in real estate, I made a lot of different connections with wholesalers because these were people who they did all the lead work already. They found the deal, they had the deal under contract, and they pretty much needed a buyer or an investor to invest in the deal, right? Now, when you're going to go that route, please be aware that you have to do your own level of due diligence. I'm going to talk about that shortly, knowing how to assess the deal, but you definitely have to do your own level of due diligence. Don't just follow and trust what it is that the wholesaler says to you, because you will royally get screwed if you do so. Ask me how I know, right? Other people that you can find deals through are real estate agents, right? Real estate agents are people that are out in the field. If they're good real estate agents, they're out in the field all the time. They're out in the field all the time finding deals. They have people coming to them wanting to sell their house and things of that sort, right? So you want to have a good network of real estate agents under your belt. Get out here and mingle, man. Networking events are still very much important, still very much good to be a part of. And you want to be able to build that network when you're talking about finding your deals, right? Finding a deal that you can, in fact, invest in and take advantage of. I'm talking about real estate, and I'm talking for anybody just hopping on. I'm talking about how to purchase your first investment property and some of the places in which you can find a deal as it pertains to your first investment in real estate, right? We want to assure that these properties are what we call off market. A lot of the times, if a property is on the market, all the money is already chewed up because the person that's selling it wants all the money. So the picture I created earlier, in the context in which I spoke about, you know, somebody from out of town inherited the property, like they don't have any emotional connection to it. They don't really care about it, right? Oftentimes, properties that are being brought to market, especially if it was somebody's like home, they lived in it, and but like, you know, there's emotional connection there. So they're not trying to give you a deal on that, right? They want to receive the maximum amount of money that they can receive on that purchase. Therefore, we want to go for properties that are off market. We want to go for properties that you know, word of mouth, right? You know what I heard Mr. Charlie and Barbara over there going through a nasty divorce. You know, I don't want nobody to go through that. But in situations like that, you create opportunity to be what we call the solution. You understand what I'm saying? Or I heard this property getting foreclosed on, or the bank the property got tax liens on it and things of that sort. So when you have those type of situations, you then have opportunity to create a solution. Thus, you then have opportunity to create a deal. Find a deal. You cannot invest in real estate if you do not find the deal. All right. Drop a one in the chat. Am I making any sense? Anybody tracking? Anybody following? Right? We got to find a deal. We got to find a deal. Another way in which we do that is what we call drive for dollars, right? So when you riding around, you may see a property, you may see a property that's abandoned. You may see a property that is an eyesore on the block, like every other house on the block looking good, and then this house is just ugly. Okay, you can jot down the address of that house, and you can do what's called a skip trace, right? You can do what's called a skip trace. Somebody drop it in the chat for me. Skip trace, SKIP trace, right? This skip trace is something that allows you to pull all the information on that property based on the address. So if you do a proper skip trace, you can get the homeowner's name, you can get the most recent phone number, address, you can get all the information, and what you can call that person and say, hey, are you interested in selling this house? Right? Are you interested in possibly getting rid of this house? Because it's abandoned, it's ugly. You got all type of fines going on from the city. You understand, like, what's going on, right? So when you're driving for dollars, you're pretty much looking for properties that have not been upkept or that appear to be abandoned or just looks to be in some type of situation of restraint, right? Some type of situation where the property just ain't being taken care of. Another way in which you can find out information about the property when you're driving for dollars is every city, every state, everywhere that you go has a county website. I know here in Miami-Dade County, it's the Clerk of Court's website, and it's the property appraiser website. I'm sorry, where you could plug in an address and then get all the person's information that the house is deeded to, meaning who owns the house, as well as information about the house. So you could be sitting here looking at a house, and it's like, wow, that's a big house, like a 6-bed, 4-bathroom on the outside, but you pull up the county website and pull up the information on that property, and you see that it's legally a 3-bed, 1-bath. So immediately you got to understand, you may have permit issues. You may have situations where, you know, things are not up to code, a whole lot of stuff, right? But the county website will ultimately allow you to access all the information about that property, and a skip trace will allow you to, you know, get the person's information that owns the property, such as their address, their phone number, really like their phone number, because you can see if you go to look up a house on the county website, so you'll have the address of the house, and then you'll have the name of the person that owns the house, and then you'll have the mailing address. And a lot of the times, if that mailing address to who owns that house is different than the actual address of the house, then we know that it's not owner occupied, right? The point I'm getting to is that we want to be able to create contact. We want to make contact with the owner of the house, because if you can create contact with the owner of the house, guess what you just accomplished? You just did the wholesaler's job. So now you're not getting hit with that fee, right? You're not getting hit. When that wholesaler did all that work, that wholesaler can put however much money that he wants to put on, or she wants to put on that property to assign the contract to you. But if you got out there and you was driving for dollars and you did the skip trace, and you made contact with the owner, guess what? You put that property under contract, and it's just between you and the owner. Man, oh man. So you just alleviated all of that right there. And guess what? Now, if you want to, you can wholesale that property to other investors. You may be in a position of where, you know, the credit ain't right, so you don't have access to funding. You got to come partner with Silverback University, but you got this house under contract for $100,000. You know it's worth $250,000 or whatever the case may be, and you know that you have a network. You can hit up the Big Ape and say, "Man, I got this house under contract for 100. It's worth 2. I assign it to you for 10. You know, we'll do a contract for 110. Okay, cool." You understand what I'm saying? So when you get into the property, you have so many different avenues in what you can exit the property, right? I don't want to lose anybody, right? We still focusing on finding the deal, but it's just making a little sense. It's just making a little sense. We tracking, we following. It's just good. Talk to me now. I like when y'all talk to me. Like when we see a little one in the chat, right? So now we got Drive for Dollars. We got the county website, and then we have mailers. Now mailers. Some people consider mailers to be old school, right? I wouldn't suggest putting a large budget into mailers, but mailers are very much important, because a mailer don't really cost you much or nothing, but it is something you got to be consistent with, right? Like if you go do a mail campaign, plan to do a mail campaign for at least 6 months, right? Plan to have some mailers going out, you know, once a month, twice a month, maybe, for at least 6 months. The more you send out, of course, the more it's going to be. Haven't done any in a while, so I don't know the numbers particularly, but when you get those mailers in the mail, you know, we buy houses, we buy, you know, they are delivered, and a lot of the times people won't reply the very first time. But one thing about it, 2 things for certain: if you create a mailer and you got your phone number on there, you know, contact us, you want to sell your home, one thing you can rest assured, that if that phone rings, and all it takes is one, right? Because you can wholesale something for as little as 5,000. Man, I done seen people wholesale and get 100 and something thousand, like crazy numbers, right? If that phone does ring, you know that it's some money on the line. You create a number particularly for your mailer, so you know if you get that certain, you know, if that thing ring like that, you know money on the line. Boy, I don't care if it's 6 a.m. You taking that call. What's happening? Talk to me. You asleep? No, I'm up. What you got? Trying to sell? Okay. And if you start to go into that space, just be ready to, you know, be ready to conduct those phone calls in a certain way. You have people that have scripts, like real scripts of how those calls need to be directed, you know, when you get out and start getting the phone ringing and things of that sort, right? But mailer, you can create a mailer campaign to find a deal. Bandit signs. Bandit signs are those signs that you see, you're driving maybe along the expressway where it's a high traffic area. We buy houses cash, and then it's a phone number. Right? We buy houses cash. We buy foreclosures cash. Right? Those are the signs. Those are the signs that you see, and those are called bandit signs. Sorry about that. Got to plug my laptop. Got to plug my laptop up for it down, y'all. All right. Those are what we call bandit signs, right? A lot of the times, depending on where you at, man, that bandit sign can be up for 24, 48, sometimes 72 hours. Right? They don't have those signs don't have a lot of shelf life, right? If you in a place like, you know, here where most of us, where I'm located, and a lot of people on this call located, if you down here in what's now called Miami Gardens, that sign probably got 48 hours of life on it before they come and snatch that bad boy down, right? So it kind of goes how the mailers go. You know, they cost money. Some bandit signs, you will see them all nice and pretty and printed up, and then other ones you will see somebody just put the mark on that thing. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody just wrote it out real nice, right? Now, if you go hit the city like that, understand that's a violation. So don't go set up your nice real estate investing company and then go get a pretty bandit sign with all your information on there, and you finna flood the streets. Like, nah, that ain't what's happening. You understand what I'm saying? Because you will get fined. That's the point I'm getting to, right? A lot of places, a lot of cities, they don't want bandit signs up, which is why they take them down, and you will receive a fine in the mail if they have some way to trace that sign back to you. All right. So let's be conscious of that. Let's be conscious of that. But then again, ordinances, exactly. But then again, we trying to find a deal. We trying to find a deal. We trying to find a deal. In order to do that, we have a number of different ways. Wholesalers, real estate agents, off-market, drive for dollars, county website, mailers, bandit signs. A lot of the people that you will call on those bandit signs. So one of the things I used to do when I was looking for deals, I would call the number on the bandit sign, and I would let them know, like, no, I'm not looking to sell my house, but I'm looking to purchase. Because a lot of those people that were putting out bandit signs, they were wholesalers, right? The idea, the goal is just to get the phone ringing. You understand? When you're wholesaling, you want to get the phone ringing. You want people bringing you houses that they want to sell that they probably can't take to market and things of that sort, right? So a lot of those people, I would let them know, like, well, when you do find a deal, put me on your buyers list. Like, add me to the group chat, add me to the buyers list, add me to the person that is interested in buying and investing in real estate. So built some pretty solid relationships at that time, calling the numbers on the bandit signs and telling them to put me on their buyers list. All right. So do we kind of get an understanding of our square we got to be on to find a deal, right? Is we talking a little bit? Is we talking a little bit? Y'all let me know if we talking a little bit. Let me know if we talking a little bit. My 7-year-old text me, what time you coming home? I got to see what she wants. All right. Perfect. There we go. All right. So as it pertains to investing and buying your first real estate investment, we want to find a deal. That's the first thing we want to do. The second thing we want to do is we want to assess the deal. We want to be able to assess the deal. This is super important, right? Super important. First thing we want to understand is, how much is it worth, right? Now, don't you be the person talking about, boy, I think this thing worth about, man, boy, look, boy, this area nice too, boy, I think this thing worth 50 million. Ain't about what you think, right? You want to understand what it's worth based on what done sold in the area, not only in the area, but what done sold within the 1 mile, 0.5 to a 1 mile radius, right? My real estate ladies on here, y'all can correct me if we're a little deeper on that, but we want to get what we call a CMA, a comparative market analysis, to understand how much a property is worth. Any real estate professional, right? That's why you want to have relationships. You understand? Any real estate professional can help you to understand how much a property is worth based on the address of where it's located and based on similar properties that have sold within close proximity of that address within the past 3 to 6 months. Right, that's it. So remove all speculation, understand how much the property worth. It ain't about what you think it's worth. It ain't about what you think you gonna put into it to make it worth something, right? It ain't about none of that. It's about what the market is telling you that thing is worth. And in order to understand that, right, what the comp's telling you, right? Comparative market analysis. You understand what I'm saying? So first things first, when we got if we got our wholesaler call us and say, I got a deal for you. Okay, give me the address. Immediately we want to do it. We want to run some comps, right? We want to get a CMA to understand how much it's worth, right? Or if you contacting the owner directly, right? If you contacting the owner directly and it looked like it's a process to create a deal, before you create an offer, before you offer anything, you want to know how much it's worth. Right. Okay, Mr. On. Okay, Miss Jerry. So you do want to get the property sold. Okay, well, listen, let me have a conversation with my team. I'm gonna get you the best possible offer we can possibly get you and see if we can get this thing wrapped up. We can close in 10 days. Now you go do your homework. Okay, I know that thing worth. Maybe call one of your other investor buddies. Hey man, you and put the whole deal together, make some money. All right. So we got to understand how much it's worth and then how much does it cost, right? So you'll have some owners, you'll have some people already got a number made up in their mind of how much it costs. You know, like how much it should cost. And sometimes we have to be the ones to explain to them that, hey, that house is not worth that amount, Miss Jerry. It's not worth that amount, right? But what we can do is, and you know, get you a nice cash deal, right? So we like to throw the word cash around. We like to say that it's a cash deal because a cash deal usually indicates that it's going to be a quick closing. When you have people that need money, oftentimes they want to get the money, they want to get it fast. They don't want to wait. The traditional real estate transaction could take 45, 60, 90 days. 90 days. It could be 3 months from start to finish. It could be, you know, sooner, you know, but it could be a pretty long, drawn out process when we're talking about appraisals, inspections, insurance, blah, 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 blah. So a cash deal pretty much says that I'm going to take the property as it is, right? No inspections, nothing like that. But because I'm taking on such a risk, I have to go into this thing getting it at the bottom dollar. That's not something you have to communicate with a seller, but you understand what I'm saying? To protect yourself, you have to be prepared for worst case scenario. You got to make an offer that's so low that if I got to build this thing from the ground up, I'm gonna still make money. So typically, that would look like, depending on the amount of how much it is to repair it, which is my next point. You don't want to be no more than like 65%. 65% of what the property is worth. So if the property is worth 100,000, I don't want to offer no more than 40 to 45,000, because worst case scenario, I gotta put about 10, 15,000 to this thing. And overall, I don't want to be in it for no more than 60% loan of value. I mean, 60% appraisal of value after rehab value. I don't want to be in it for no more than 60% of that. So 60% of 100,000 is 60,000. That's my top number. I don't want to have any more than $60,000 invested into this property that costs $100,000. Right. So we got to understand how much it is to repair. So when you get a deal from a wholesaler, they'll always let you know, like, no inspections. Right. Because the idea is you're getting this property for pennies on the dollar, for a discounted rate. So you just got to be willing to take the risk of getting this property at this discounted rate and then accounting for what it would be if you had to do the roof, the plumbing, you know, all type of stuff. But it's ways around that, right? So when I used to go look at wholesale deals, I used to take my guy, Felix, worked on all the houses for us. I used to take him with me. And me and him looking, pointing out what we stick a cameras and something, all type of stuff, boy. Like, this a walkthrough, but I'm damn near doing the inspection at the same time. Boy, you ain't finna get me, you tripping. You know, or I go vibe off with somebody and have a con. He walking around and we seeing what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Because once you sign that paperwork, you send that deposit. Pretty much it just becomes about, like, sometimes they give you a 1 or 2 day inspection, meaning they're giving you 2 days to get an inspection or something like that. But oftentimes it don't really, because again, the idea is that you get it at such a discounted rate, it don't really create much wiggle room other than for you to understand exactly what it is you're getting yourself into, right? So we got to account for how much it is to repair it, and then what's the spread, right? So if it costs 120 and we got to put another 20 in it to repair it, so we all in at 140, right? And then we can sell it for 200. That sound like that's a $40,000 spread, but not so fast. Not so fast. There are a number of different commissions, percentages, and everything in between that other people have to get paid when you exit your first real estate investment deal, right? When I say exit, the exit can be by way of a refinance. The exit can be by way of a sale. The exit can be by way of a long-term rental, right? Once you purchase this thing, you have a number of ways in which you can pull all of your money back out of it. And again, that can be a refinance, or that can just be a flat-out sale. Get rid of the property and get on to the next, right? So we want to assess the deal by finding out how much it's worth, how much does it cost, how much it costs to repair, and then what's the spread in between, right? Last but not least, once we have all those things in place, we want to then buy the deal. Let's buy it, right? Now, for most of us, if there's an opportunity to buy $100,000 home, for most of us, we don't have that type of liquidity, that type of capital on hand. So does that mean that we can't invest in real estate? Absolutely not, right? There are loans in place, most of which are called hard money loans, that will fund your acquisition of your real estate investment. Hard money loans are called hard money because they're essentially more expensive to hold, meaning the interest is much higher, but the risk is much greater. So people that extend hard money, they extend loans for properties that can't pass an inspection, for properties that we understand are going to need some work, some rehab to be done, right? And those type of loans, typically, they will give you 80%. You'll get 80% of the purchase price, and you have to come up with the other 20. You know what I'm saying? That you got to come up with the other 20%, right? So if the purchase price is $100,000, then tell her she got to put it in another browser. Big Money Ape. Tell her she got to just copy and paste the link, put another browser. So if the purchase price is $100,000, you have to come up with $20,000 as a down payment. Your hard money is going to give you 80%, which is $80,000. You got to come up with that other 20%. You understand what I'm saying? So what that looks like is we got to make sure that we're going with the data over emotion. Because if we get emotional and start talking about what we think instead of going with the data and what the data is showing us, then we get into a place where we don't trust the numbers. And not trusting the numbers will cause you to lose money, right? Don't let nobody tell you that real estate is just some easily to get rich, blah, blah, blah type crap. It don't go like that. And y'all know I like to tell stories, right? So my very first real estate investment, I got it from a wholesaler, and I go to see this property, right? 3-bed, 2-bath. Can't make this stuff up. I go to see this place. The wholesaler's walking me around, and he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's selling it. Yeah, just needs a little paint, little this, little that. It's good, right? So first things first, they wanted $239 for it. And guess what I did? I offered them $239 for it. Of course, they accepted my offer. They had a $17,000 wholesale fee on it. They had it under property with the owner for $222. Assigned it to me for $17. I got it at $239. It gets better. Continue. Okay, we start the process. We get in there. And then not long after, we realized that we got to put a new roof on this bad boy. New roof was 10 bands. Luckily, we had some credit, so we just financed it, but that's $10,000 that's cutting into the profit, right? The purchase price was $239. We put down 20%. Not to include closing costs, whatever, all that stuff. So we was in the property a great deal. And then before my first real estate fix and flip, I had like just one unit that I had rented, that I had for rent. I come from the rental world where, you just paint the rental unit all white and then allow the person that comes in to make it their own, right? If they want to paint it, that's perfectly fine. If they, break their lease that they have to leave, they just paint it back all white. No harm, no foul, right? So silly me, I go into the fix and flip game with the rental game mindset. And it took for someone with some experience. She's not on this call. She's been on a few calls, but it took for someone with some experience to come in and say, nah, man, buyers don't have vision. Like, they don't want to make it their own. If they paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a house, they just want to bring their toothbrush. Nobody wants to buy a house and have to do work or do what you like, paint it and do all the other stuff. Nah. So on top of not being able to sell a house, it took for somebody to come in because the reason I got to this part of the story, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm talking about emotion. Emotionally, we thought that me and my friend, we were just like, we had no idea. We sitting around, we so damn silly. We like, well, how much we want to sell it for? Because we done did whatever we thought we needed to do. You know what I'm saying? Let's go sell, right? It's Miami, everything sell. So we put this doggone house on the market for $349,000. Like, fool, ain't nothing in this area sold for no three. Like, where you Negroes just come up with this number, man? But that's what no experience gets you. You gotta learn the hard way, right? So when we partnered with some people that had some freaking know-how, some know better, first thing they told us was that you ain't gonna get that, and you need to do this, and this. You need to paint this, need to change this, need to do this, need to do this. That's another $5,000 that went out, right? All this is just chewing into what would have been the profit, right? Oh, the best part of the story, y'all. I don't want to get too far off track, but this is the best part of the story. I put some appliances in that house. Like, I had got some brand new appliances, dishwasher, stove, microwave, range, just all that, right? Man, walked in that house one day, I kid y'all not. Boy, them appliances was gone, boy. Somebody came in there and got that, like, everything out of there. Oh, man, drop a one in the chat if this is funny, man. It's funny to me. All right. So don't get emotional, man. Trust the data. Trust the data. The money is made on the purchase and not the sale. All right. The money is made on the purchase. It's not the sale. You want to buy the deal, but I'm begging everybody wants to get into real estate, looking to get into real estate. Trust the data. Your emotions will have you every which way, right? And we want to buy the deal. You don't make money on the entry. You don't make money on the exit. You make money on the entry, right? If you purchase right, you can always sell right. You understand what I'm saying? But if you don't purchase right, it's going to be hard for you to sell, right? We did end up getting that property sold. I passed by the other day, actually. We planted some little small palms in the front of them things, done blossomed up now. Did end up getting that property sold for $305, I think it was $305, right, in my yayo. And this was 6 or 7 months before the whole freaking like the whole pandemic stuff came and properties just shot through the roof. I was like, man, just my luck. I would have when properties went to going crazy, when the numbers went to going crazy, I would have got 340 for it, 350, 340, 350, that same house. But you live and you learn. 10 minutes left on the call. Y'all talk to me. Any questions, any comments? We talking about how to invest in your first real estate property, preferably a single family or something like that. So any questions, you can unmute. You can go to I think it's called reactions. You can raise your hand. Y'all talk to me. Let me see what we got in here. What's up, Mike? Hey, Keita. Lady D, what's up, mama? Good to see you. Rapson, what's happening? My cuz, what's up, my dear? Josh, what it do? What's up, Miss Spencer? Any questions? Josh, that's you, Joshua. Big Josh, what's happening? What'd you say they had to be? Good to be back on. Would you pull cash from credit cards to purchase investment house? Absolutely. Done it a few times. But we got to understand what that looks like, right? We got to understand what that looks like. So before you pull any money from your credit card, first things first, if it's a personal credit card, let's understand that as soon as you pull that money and that card reports, your utilization go be high and you're going to be on the credit sidelines. Meaning, because the utilization is high, your credit score is going to be low. You won't really be able to position yourself to get any more funding. This is very important to point out because when you're in the middle of a real estate deal, you got to have, if not yourself, you got to have somebody on your team that's lender friendly at all times. So remember when I first started talking about the first real estate property, the first investment, I said we had to redo the roof. I said, but luckily we had some good credit. We were just able to finance that, right? So just imagine if we had took like personal credit cards and invested in that house, we probably wouldn't have got approved to finance that roof. But because we took a lot of the business funding, and we know that the business funding, the business credit cards and things of that sort, it doesn't report to your personal credit report. So you're not hampered by utilization as you are with personal credit cards, right? So to answer that question, yes, we'll definitely take credit cards and invest it into a real estate investment. Definitely if it's a business credit card, right? With the exception of like Capital One or TD Bank, those business credit cards report to your personal. But if it's a business credit card, doesn't report to the personal, yeah, we take that and invest it all day. And then if that's the approach, we want to understand how much is it going to cost us to hold that money, right? So going back to that first property, I think it was about 70,000 that was the cash to close on that property. If I look through y'all give me a second here. If I look through my Rolodex real hard, I can find the closing agreement, and you could see like the cash to close, right? So if I share this, let's share this with y'all. I can share this with y'all. Y'all my people, I can share this with y'all. I'm real big on just show and tell, right? So where is it? Where did it go? Okay, so if y'all can see this on the screen, right? Oh, it was 13,250. So y'all see this assignment right here? 13,250. That's what they greased me for. But I don't know if y'all can see this right here. Y'all see it say cash from borrower 69,656.90. Y'all everybody see that? We pulled this from a line of credit, right? I pulled this from a line of credit that I know that the minimum amount that it cost me to hold that was 2% a month, right? So I knew that every single month I had to pay $1,400 from the line of credit. This was my cash to close. Man, them people had got me. Like, why in the hell am I paying $70,000? But remember, when we get into investment, we talking 20% down now. We talking 20% down. Let me look through this, knowing what I know now, man. These people, my contract sales price was, what they say? $225,750, and then $13,250 was it. That's how I got the $239. So at $225,582, yeah, $239 right there. Look at this, $17,000 in just settlement charges. I can't even tell you what all this crap is, man. So now my gross amount on the $239,000 purchase is $256,379. You want to get into real estate, right? My hard money lender gave me $180,000, right? I had them put up $5,000, and then you got county taxes. So total paid by borrower, right? The gross amount due, and then whatever else down here. Basically, this is what I had to come with to close on this house. So in other words, I was paying, right? Everybody be talking about take credit and invest it now. I'm showing y'all in real time what it is now. I was paying $1,400 a month to hold this. But don't forget this number right here. Y'all see the 180? Don't forget that number. I'm having to pay my hard money every month. I got to pay my hard money every single month. That 180, let me think how much that 180 was costing me, man. I think that 180 cost me like, shoot, 15, 1,600, maybe 1,800. That 180 was taxing, right? So that's just the money to hold. That was just what it costs to hold that money, meaning to pay the minimum monthly payment on it. You understand what I'm saying? All of that has to be included in the deal. When you running your numbers, when you seeing, okay, I'm finna invest in this and and you talking about taking credit to invest, man, you better be thinking about how much it's gonna cost you to hold that money, right? How much it's gonna cost you to hold that bread. So in that case, it would cost me 14, I would say mine would cost $3,200 a month. Man, we needed that thing to get sold fast. If my if my spread, right? If my equity, if my cushion, if my take home was 40,000 from the flip, it's costing me 3,200 to hold that, right? To just cover my minimum, and it's taking 6, 7, 8 months to sell a house. Man, I don't cut in a good portion of my profit, right? That makes sense. I don't feel like I'm talking too fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all math, it's all numbers. But do we kind of understand, like, don't let these people tell you, boy, listen, just get the credit in. You know what I'm saying? It costs money to hold credit, man. It costs money to hold money. And you got to account for what it costs you to hold money, right? So this whole rant got started off of Joshua asking the question of would I take credit and invest it? Yes, but I take credit and invest it understanding that it's going to cost to hold that credit, right? So going back to that $1,400 that I was paying on what I put off that line of credit. That line of credit is for 100,000. I pulled 70 grand off of it. I still had 30 grand left, right? So I knew that worst case scenario, I had access to another 30 grand just to, float myself into the sale of the house. Because the sale of the house coming now, that alleviates everything. Now you just paying back all the debt you done got yourself into and then keeping the rest. You know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those people that, you get anxiety from like debt and stuff like that, it may not be the game for you, but it's more than one way to skin the cat. What's that that was a business line of credit. Would the same process apply to person just land or a lot that's 150,000? Boy, a land or a lot that's 150,000? What kind of land or lot that is? As far as lands and lots go, right? So let's understand how will we exit that. It's a few ways that we can exit that. You can do the leg work, go to the city, get a little building plan approved, get some type of things approved, make it seem like you just did a whole bunch of work or whatnot. And then once you position it to be sold, land worth this amount, city already approved, permitting for this or that. This can be built on it. If this is built on it, it's gonna then be worth that amount. You got to be able to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So, we know what the price is, 150,000, but what is it worth? What can it be used for? What's it zoned for? Is it mixed use? Is it commercial use? Is it single family? Is it like, it's a lot of different questions that have to be asked. If it could be zoned for a quadplex, how much is it going to cost to develop that quadplex? Right? If the lot is 150, and let's say the quadplex, when you say quad, I guess you're saying 4 units. The 4 unit is worth, let's say, $250 per square feet. But then you got to know how much square feet it is. Just keep doing the numbers. You got the answers already, right? But let's say purchase the lot for 150, 250 square feet or whatnot. Let's say it's 1,500 square feet. Do the math on that for each one, and that's big. We'll even go 1,200. Do the math on that. When we talking material costs, we talking man, we talking a whole lot of stuff, boy. I had a guy that has invested in man, he's heavily invested up in Alabama. He's heavily, a friend of mine put me on the phone with him. Like, he's had newspaper articles read. He's developed the entire downtown in like a small part of Alabama. That guy told me straight up and down, man, he just wouldn't buy a piece of land. He'll take something that was already there, knock it all the way down before he buys something that he has to really like plumbing, city, sewer, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, because I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the reason why, but I just know that he's very successful in what he's done. And he said, like, he even stay away from that. right? I think we saw like a little glimpse of that during the pandemic, where we had material costs was through the roof, but the supply chain was just down so much, right? And we saw a lot of properties, a lot of projects, man, just kind of fall by the wayside because it just didn't make sense to try to keep them up, not knowing if we was going to have access to the necessary materials that we needed at that time, right? So it's a number of things that we have to consider in any event as it pertains to real estate. We want to develop, if we but how do we plan to exit? That's always my question. We know how we can answer, but how do we plan to exit? Right? Are we fully going to develop this thing? Are we, do we have the manpower, the capacity? Do we have the relationships to get the permit pulled? All these different things. Because again, when we holding money, every single day that go by is costing you money. That's the next thing we got to understand. Every single day that go by, it costs you. So this is why these things got to get done quick. And this is why you see houses, right? They'll say like new construction and all that. And you start living in them things, you realize, man, this is a bunch of baloney. What the heck, these people ain't do this. These people ain't, because they were trying to hurry up, man, and get up out of there. Because every day was costing them money. You understand what I'm saying? Every day was costing them money. Right? What else we got? We had 1002. Okay, I see that. That looks nice. It's a 2-unit currently in Opa-locka. Okay. It just all depends on the purchase price. You know what I'm saying? Historically, from my experience, 2 units don't, because the property values here in Miami is so expensive. 2 units don't, it's not gonna get you what you need. Like that third door is what's gonna get you where you at, right? So if I'm thinking about like I got a 3-unit, right? It's a 2-1, a 2-1, and an efficiency in the back. And based on the mortgage, what I have to pay on the mortgage, for the most part, the 2-2-1s cover the mortgage, and the cash flow comes on that 3rd unit, right? The cash flow comes on that 3rd unit because the mortgage is so high, because the property is so high. But on the back end, we got appreciation, we got equity. That same property has appreciated over 6 figures, had it about 2.5 years, right? So it's just all on how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? What's up, Moochie? What's up, Jen? Boy, I got all my family on here tonight. Y'all making me feel good. Okay, about 30 of y'all. Okay. What's up, Jalen? Raw 8. What's up, Mike? My dog C's. What's up, B? All right. So yeah, that's it. This recording to go out. What type of real estate LLC to get the max amount of funding? None. Real estate and funding don't go in the same sentence. You go in the bank talking about you want to get funding for your real estate company. It's nothing. It's nothing. From a startup standpoint, right? Now, if you've already got out here, built up a portfolio, damn, I don't want to call the wrong bank. I did run into 1 or 2 banks that was favorable. But they was favorable, like they'll extend you like $1 million line of credit. You hear that and you say, okay, cool. But a lot of the times what they're telling you is they'll reimburse you up to $1 million. So you still got to come up with some money some type of way, right? You got $1 million line of credit, and you finna go purchase $200,000 investment. You got to come up with that $200,000 investment, and then your $1 million line of credit to kick in after you done already put that skin in the game. I mean, they'll give it back to you, right? I've seen banks that were as far as in allowing you to invest in real estate, like that was one of the ways in which they'll do it. But again, from a startup standpoint, real estate and LLC, and, funding, and it don't go in the same sense. Your property management can go get some funding. Your property management company can go get some funding. And so people, let's understand this too. Nobody cares. You have a property management company and you use it and you get funded, and then you go invest in real estate. Like, ain't nobody coming to you saying, oh, you took the property management money and then you went and did an investment. Nobody cares. Like, the bank not tracking what you're doing. The bank ain't tracking that. The bank only concerned with, can you pay this money back? Ain't nobody finna shut down your business credit card because you went to Walmart, right? Ain't nobody finna do that. I use these freaking cards here faithfully. Amex Platinum, faithfully. And all type of whatever the other ones. They ain't be at Walmart getting swiped, buying grocery for the children. Right? Nobody care about that. So what everybody on this call needs to be doing is positioning one flagship LLC. Don't run yourself raggedy setting up 101 LLC. Man, all you need is one of them to hit. That's all you need. You don't need to have a whole bunch of them all over the place. You just need one flagship LLC to hit. This LLC that's on this card, man, this one LLC right here done got 500,000 in funding. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to be all, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to complicate this name, man. We just got to learn the principles, learn how the bank work, learn how to position ourselves to be appealing to the bank, and go get the money. Put that credit in position. That's it. That's it. It's not rocket science, but it is a process. And a lot of the times, a lot of people, we don't want to go through the process because we want everything to be ready-made, and life just don't work like that. Anything worth having, you go ahead and put the process in to get to it, right? So I don't went over my time. If there are no more questions, SBU funding, I talk about it every week. Any of your funding needs, man, we can assist, we can help you. Everything I'm talking about is because I have firsthand experience with it. Residential loan types, commercial loan types, commercial properties, some merchant cash advances, right? Equipment purchases, sales and leases, leasebacks and things of that sort, retirement account financing. Man, a number of different ways we can access funding. All right. So if you need funding in any capacity, let's have a conversation. Don't be afraid to have a conversation. Stop telling yourself you're going to wait till you do this, and that, and then you're going to have a conversation, because that makes absolutely no sense, right? You want to get some direction. You want to get some understanding of the direction you're going in, and then make it make sense from there. All right. Follow us on all the social media handles, Silverback University SBU. Go ahead and screenshot that, take a picture. As I said earlier on the call, don't hesitate. You can text that number right there. This is a real person, if not myself, somebody on the team that can get back to you with any questions that you may have. But ultimately, everybody here, if you haven't already done so, you should be looking to join the community, right? We have a lot of different processes and opportunities that we welcome you all to join the community. Matter of fact, everybody here definitely go ahead and dial in to the Facebook group. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat right now. Don't hesitate to, dial in. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to send it to everybody. All right, there it is. I really appreciate it. Should go back to that first. All right, so definitely click that link. I want to see everybody that's on this call coming into the community. This is the public community, and what we just trying to get everybody that are like-minded in one group. No spam and none of that type of stuff, but just information, right? Just not only information, the right information that we know to be right because we've experienced it either directly or vicariously through someone else that's what's the word I'm looking for? That's validated. You understand what I'm saying? We live in an informational age right now. So if you're not careful, man, so much information, it can really cause anxiety, and it can just cause you to be paralyzed because you're analyzing so much, right? So we don't just want to be amongst information. We want to be amongst the right information. As I'm looking at the people that's on this call, man, we got a lot of real estate professionals here, people that are investing, people that are starting businesses, people that are running and operating businesses. So it would only edify everyone that's on this call to connect at some point or another. All right. Last but not least, people that partner with us, they come in at one of three levels. Either you're a troop and your credit's going really, what it needs to be, but you're an aspiring business owner, you got the right mindset, or you're a black back, where you got your credit is cool, you ain't got no late payments, you got your company, and you just need a little direction in order to get over to this point where the credit is all the way dialed in. We got some funding, and we're using that funding to create another stream of income, right? So with that being said, we like to create opportunity for people to just get the ball rolling, man. It makes no sense whatsoever for you to hop on this call week in and week out and not do something to get yourself active, most of the people that we encounter, that we talk to, are struggling with their credit. It's just what it is. And that's okay. You understand what I'm saying? It's not okay if you continue to allow the credit to be a struggle for you, right? So even if you don't have opportunity to partner with us on a one-on-one level, there's opportunity for you to partner with us on a do-it-yourself level, right? And start to repair your credit yourself. Most people I talk to, they'll say something along these lines, right? They'll say something along these lines. I paid such and such to fix my credit and ain't nothing happened. Okay, do it yourself. That's it. Because nobody's not gonna care about your credit more than you, even if you paid them. Sorry, sucks, but it's just what it is, right? But you can always pay to invest in yourself. And once you learn this process, once you learn how to position your credit, not only can you continue to position your credit, but you can always do the same for yourself and do the same for others. All right. So if you need access to the 5-step life repair process, definitely shoot us a message. I'll definitely get that over to you. And other than that, man, it's been a great call. Went over this time, but that's okay. Credit to Cash, 100 Days to 100K. We here every Tuesday at 9 p.m., hosted by myself. And, appreciate everybody for hopping on. The recording of this call will go out tomorrow. And like I say, every week, no question is a dumb question. I'll see y'all, my people that's in the APE community one-on-one, 8 p.m. on Thursday. Everybody else, we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 9 p.m. All right. Y'all have a good night.